All right. Hey guys, this is your host Thomas Tyree here from On the Hop Podcast. Today, this would be episode 226 for you guys. I got a special guest, the host of the Run Podcast, Manny Wilson, joining it up with us today. And
Was
me and
good.
Manny are back chopping it up, man. So thanks, Manny, for hopping on the podcast once again.
Yes, sir, man. I'm glad to be on here. I appreciate you having me on. Love coming on the pod, chopping it up with you about all these different sports and all these different things that's going on in these leagues.
Yeah. So we got a lot to talk about with NFL going on. We're gonna cover the Monday night game that happened last night between the Ravens and the Lions. The Lions won that game 38-30. So Manny, what's your thoughts on how the Lions played against the Ravens last night on Monday Night Football?
The Lions played against who? Because
The Ravens.
it show wasn't the Ravens. That was not the Ravens team that I was expecting to show up in Baltimore, especially considering the Lions prior to that game had never beaten the Baltimore Ravens before in Baltimore. So I was expecting them to come out, have the edge because of the crowd. It was a home game. I was expecting the Ravens to come out and probably put BTA. I was also hoping that it would be a good game, which it turned out to be. So I wasn't really frustrated or anything about that. But ultimately, I was definitely shocked that the Ravens ended up coming out, and when it was time to fight, they laid down. I put it this way: give credit to the Lions defense because the Lions defense was going hard. Boy, they sacked Lamar Jackson like 7 times. Lamar Jackson was out there struggling. He was looking like CJ Stroud from what we know CJ Stroud of as of lately. But ultimately, it was just an old fashioned butt whooping from the Detroit Lions, man. They got out there and they gave the Ravens the business. I was on the side of history thinking, okay, well, the Lions haven't won. They haven't beaten the Baltimore Ravens since 2005, but they came out here and they showed, hey, there's a first time for everything. So they
Yeah.
smacked up the Ravens at home, and I thought they were just better in crucial moments of the game when you needed a stop, when you needed to stop Lamar Jackson from scrambling and picking up a first down. They did that. When you needed to bring pressure, they did that. When you needed to break up passes, they did that. Running the football, obviously. Oh my gosh, a two-headed monster over there just completely obliterated the Ravens defense. That's why I'm like, if they played the Ravens, are you sure this wasn't some other team like the Atlanta Falcons? Yeah, unfortunately, but like man, they smacked up the Ravens, and I wasn't expecting the Ravens to lay down and get beat like that. So it was definitely a shocker.
Yeah, and I agree with you too for the points that you said. Being at that game last night, I was really shocked because the scoreboard says 38-30, but like you said, it felt like a beatdown. It didn't feel like the score was really that close to that competitive a game the way how the Lions were having their way on the Ravens. And they had their way. I felt like they were the more physical team, the more dominant team in the
Mhm.
trenches on both sides of the ball. And the Lions just had their way. They ran the ball for a total of 224 yards as a team with 4 rushing touchdowns with David Montgomery scoring twice, Gibbs scoring twice, but the pass rush, like you said too, they were sacking Lamar Jackson left and right. 7 sacks. I couldn't believe that. And you're talking about one of
Man,
the most gifted, athletic quarterbacks in the game, Lamar Jackson. I don't even think Lamar's ever been sacked that many times in the game, seven
I
times.
ain't I ain't never seen Lamar sack that much.
Yeah, and even though they sacked him 7 times, they had a total of 30 pressures. Like the pass rush was getting home to Lamar. He was very uncomfortable in this game, couldn't really do what he likes to do throughout the whole duration of 4 quarters. But something I noticed too during this game, man, Zach Orr, the defensive coordinator for the Ravens, he might be put on the hot seat sooner rather than later
Mhm.
because this is a championship caliber team. They got a lot of pieces on the defense. Like this ain't a Dallas Cowboys defense. There is stacked pieces top to bottom, but they can't put it all together. I feel like as a coordinator, a play caller for Zach Orr, like he can't make adjustments on the fly in between quarters and transition as a game. The defenders look lazy in coverage. Marlon Humphrey looked lazy in coverage, got beat by St. Brown a lot in coverage, not making tackles. The Ravens defense, honestly think heading into the season, I thought they'd be a top 5 unit. But right now, I feel like they got to be one of the worst defenses in the league in the first 3 weeks because they gave up 40 points to the Bills week one. I
Yeah.
mean, you played the Browns week two, gave up like 10, but then last night you gave up 38 points. That's a lot of points scored on you per game in the first 3 weeks of football.
You ain't lying right there. And I think you make a really good point about DC being in a hot seat because I mean you like you mentioned Bills put up a lot of points. Now you play another good offense in the Lions. They put up a lot of points as well. And it's like, all right, we got for Ravens, a lot of people have Super Bowl aspirations, and a lot of people put them in the category of true Super Bowl contenders. You ain't winning no Super Bowl if you ain't playing defense, because come playoff time, you're gonna have to get some stops, and you're gonna have to adjust no matter what and no matter who you play against. So I think it will be an element that we have to continue to look at for the Ravens. Looking ahead at their schedule, I don't know how tough exactly the rest of those games will be, but I know they'll play the Bengals and they still got the rest of the division play. Obviously, you got to see the Steelers again and stuff like that, or you see the Steelers twice. And I mean, you're going to have multiple tests just being in that division. So, I mean, it's still super early. Things can change. Sometimes teams have some bad games. They lay some eggs out there and then they come back and they look good. We've seen the Lions do it in week one. And then all of a sudden, the offense is really rolling so far. It seems like they're continuing to roll out. So, with the Ravens, defense is definitely going to be an issue. But aside from the defense, one of the things I didn't like is on the offensive side of the ball. Typically, what we've seen from Lamar Jackson on the offensive side of the ball, we have never ever seen him get sacked that much. I don't think I've ever seen Lamar Jackson get sacked that much in my life. Like of watching this man
Yeah.
play football, I've never seen him hit the ground so many times in one single game, and probably throughout the course of a full season. It's very rare for me to see Lamar Jackson get sacked. And I think that's just like it's kind of unheard of in a way, especially considering how he evades and can make plays on the run and scramble and all of those things. So with Lamar Jackson getting knocked down 7 times in crucial moments, I think that was something that was very, very sloppy. They got to figure out what the hell is going on with that O line and how things can change with that offensive line. And then another key factor here is Derrick Henry on the offensive end of the ball. Look, Derrick Henry, we know you big, you fast, you run, and you score touchdowns, bro. You got to protect the damn ball. This is the second time, actually third time in 3 games that he's fumbled, but this is the second time it's cost the team a game-winning drive. It happened against the Bills where it was a potential game-winning drive. He fumbled, then the Bills ended up coming back and winning. It happened now against the Lions. Game-winning drive was on the verge or possibly closing out the game. He fumbles again. So Derrick Henry, obviously, he knows that he's got to protect that ball, but damn it, this Ravens offense is something that's a little shaky based on these first few weeks. So I would more so be worried about what's going on the offensive end just as much as the defensive end because we got a lot of unusual things happen with this Ravens offense. Lamar Jackson getting sacked, Derrick Henry fumbling the ball, targets not open, targets getting locked up. Zay Flowers only 13 yards in a game against the Lions. Like, what's going on with that? Ain't you WR1? Like, so these are things where the Ravens offense is definitely showing some signs of concerns.
Yeah, and I now that I think about it, I agree with that because well, I didn't see the reaction. I saw the reaction this morning with Derrick Henry having a fit when he fumbled the ball. Man, I can tell you that whole stadium when he fumbled that ball, like all the energy just evaporated out of that stadium. Like fans were booing, but like you wouldn't think like a caliber running back, like you said, like Derrick Henry having fumbling problems in the
Man,
first 3 weeks of football, and especially with that drive last night. Let me see.
say
Let me think. They could have been in position to tie the game. Yeah, at that time tie the game, and
yeah,
that
yeah.
fumble, the Lions controlled the pace and then scored again. So yeah, they gotta. I agree that offense and for Lamar to get sacked that many times, like he was sitting back there trying to find. There was really nothing
It
available
was
for him.
nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing for him. I mean, Mark Andrews did his thing, but receivers, like you said, Zay Flowers, 13 yards or so, that's unacceptable as a
Yeah.
wide receiver run, and especially in a prime time game like that where they need you. So yeah, I think the offense has some questions to answer too because you play the Chiefs. Even though the Chiefs are 1-2, that defense is good. That's probably the only good thing about them right now. But that defense is
Yeah.
good. So if they don't address that, they could easily by the end of next week be 1-3. So yeah, I think these are
Yeah.
the things they gotta definitely address. I think the offense can be fixed. This defense, I know they're missing their former coordinator Mike McDonald, the head coach of the Seahawks now. This is
Mhm.
Zach Orr's second year, but I feel like if they don't get it under the control with all that talent they got there, he's definitely going to get fired. I think the offense could turn things around, but definitely, I'm surprised they started off the season 1-2. I would think 2-1 at best, but 1-2 is a shocker to me.
Yeah, 1 and 2 is definitely a shocker. Now, I kind of give him a pass. So here's the thing. It looks nasty when you talk about, oh, the first three games, you lost two of them. And honestly, if they play the Chiefs and lose that, that's gonna look bad also. 1-4 to start your season. It does look bad. But the only reason I don't hit the panic button is one, because it's early on in the season. We done seen teams. I mean, look at Joe Burrow. The man done went 1-5 for the last 3 years or something like that, and still be in playoff contention. So it doesn't concern me too much. But with the Ravens starting off like this, say they go to Kansas City and they lose, and they start off 1-4, or I'm sorry, 1-3. It won't concern me too much because they're losing to elite teams. Like if they were losing to Dolphins and Jets and Falcons, then I'm like, all right, hey, Ravens low key trash. But because it's the
Yeah,
Bills against Josh Allen who finds a way to win no matter what, because it's the Lions who just are pure dominance on the offensive end, just gonna overload you on offense. Like I can accept that. The Cleveland Browns, all right, you got your dub, cool. But like you did
yeah,
what you were supposed to do. You hung up 40 on them. But you go against the Chiefs. Chiefs have been looking rough this year, but still, they would almost get a pass because it's Patrick Mahomes. Like, all right, cool. So then you would get into the stretch of these lower caliber type of teams. You got the Texans. I don't sleep on the Rams. I can't even put them in there. But the Bears, the Dolphins, the Vikings. You see the Browns again. Then you get into the back half of the schedule where it's the lower caliber teams versus where the first few weeks are really shaking things up, and it's going to be immediate test of legitimacy those first few weeks. So that's the only reason where I'm not too concerned about the Ravens if they possibly even start 1-3 or 1-4. 1-4 would probably be a little. I would worry a little bit, but 1-3, nah, I ain't gonna worry too much about that.
that's true because it's a long season. You can always turn things around, and that happens when you play really good teams.
Yeah,
But yeah, I agree with you. If things go wrong for the next couple weeks and there are more losses than wins, I think their next three they play the Chiefs. I want to say Chiefs, Rams, and then they got to play the Texans. I mean, Texans ain't looking good, but those
yeah,
next two games are pretty tough slate of games. So yeah, I think they got to. For me, not to panic, I would probably say they got to win two out of their next three.
two
Whoever it
out
is,
of
I think two out of their next three for sure.
definitely. Yeah, they got Chiefs, Texans, and then Rams. So
Oh, Chiefs,
that's
Texans.
very
Okay.
much possible. That's very much possible. Considering the Chiefs aren't really hot right now, like that's very much possible for them to beat the Chiefs, and then you play the Texans, who I said is stinking up the place. And then you go play the Rams. Anything happen against the Rams because Stafford is a bad boy over there.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. Well, yeah, we'll definitely see how these Ravens look, but I think the Lions really did pick up. But that was a really good win that they needed week one to have a statement win to show like they haven't gone anywhere, even though they lost to the Packers week one by double digits. But yeah, we'll
Yeah,
see how these
Lions.
teams look.
Lions did the Ravens how Kendrick Lamar did Drake. Whew. But they took that belt off. That's all I'm gonna say. That's how the Lions did. That's how the Lions did the Ravens, boy.
Just
I
a
tell you, boy, man, that was a beat down right there.
well, we'll go ahead and move on to the next segment. So week three is in the books, Manny. We're gonna be sharing our favorite moments and games from week three. So, what were your favorite moments or one of your favorite games from week three of the NFL season?
Oh man. So my absolute favorite moment from week 3 of the NFL, it happened to go all the way out to the AFC, man. We're going with the Chargers and the Broncos. This game was insane. Like initially, it's not really hype. Okay, you hear Chargers, you hear the Broncos, two teams who aren't really on fire or nothing like that. But hey, bro, you got to pay attention to the Chargers. Anybody out there who listens, you have to pay attention to the Chargers because I'm on board now. I'm officially like keeping the window open for the Chargers and seeing what they can do because 3-0. And then they led a game-winning drive here against the Denver Broncos. Justin Herbert, man, he balled out. He did his thing. I was on the cusp of calling Justin Herbert a bust. I was so close. If he wouldn't have won these first 3 games, oh, best believe I'd have been guns blazing talking about Herbert is a bust. Oh,
Oh,
I would have been on the whole other side of things. So he definitely proved me wrong so far this season. But Herbert threw for 300 yards, led a game-winning drive, had a touchdown pass, and then ultimately that defense stepped up big time as well, getting some stops, forcing some turnovers as well. So I was just very, very impressed by the Chargers. And then I think the underrated aspect of the Chargers right now is okay. Say you're not even paying attention to what they're doing right now. You don't care about the game winning drives or none of that type of stuff. You don't care about none of the fancy stats that the Chargers have. The one thing you should care about is the fact that they're 3-0 in the division. They already beat all of their division opponents. So this puts them in the league to already secure a playoff spot, possibly, and possibly just take care of business in terms of the rest of the division. You get the edge going into the back half of the season when you got to see these Broncos again, when you got to see the Chiefs again, when you see the Raiders again. You already got the upper edge. So I'm gonna just leave it at that, man. Chargers, I was very, very impressed with that Denver Broncos game. And I was very impressed by that game winning drive as well from Justin Herbert. That was my highlight for week 3 for sure.
Yeah, and my stupid self. I was watching my Cowboys get spanked by the Bears, so I caught the I caught the back end of that game, like in the fourth quarter when that game was basically out of reach for the Cowboys. But yeah, I saw the back end of that in the fourth quarter, and then I watched the overall highlights of the first 3 quarters, and I would say that looked like a really good game, and definitely down the end of the stretch, that was a good AFC West battle between the Chargers and the Broncos. And
Yeah,
I'll agree with you. The Chargers have shown up to play. We'll probably talk about them in the next segment too. They've shown up to play, take care of business against all 3 divisional teams of the Chiefs, the Raiders, and the Broncos in the AFC West. So they look
yeah,
pretty good. They look good on both sides of the ball. I like what I'm seeing from Herbert. I'm liking what I'm seeing in the defense as well. Everybody's stepping up, and Jim Harbaugh has done a good job, like bringing this team back to life from their Brandon Staley days years ago. So
yeah.
I'm liking the product that we're seeing on the field by the Chargers. So I did see the end of that game, but like I said, I was in a different game watching my team get spanked by Caleb Williams and the Bears. But
I know the feeling, bro. That was me with. I don't want to spoil any of your picks that you might have, but that was me with the Eagles and Rams. I was watching my Falcons get 30 pieced, and they kept cut. Like I couldn't watch on two. Usually I try and watch on 2 devices, but I couldn't watch on 2 devices because I was out and about. So I was watching the Falcons get 30 pieced, and all of a sudden they showing the game breaks of the Eagles Rams, and I'm like, Hurts done came back. I'm like,
yeah, bro.
what? So. I'm like, damn, I should have never been messing with my trash team, and I should have been watching the Eagles and Rams. So, yeah, I definitely feel your pain on that part.
Yeah, I'm glad. Well, not glad we feel the same way, but I'm glad it
Mhm.
wasn't my team only that did that. And I missed a
Yeah,
good game. I missed a good chunk of the game because my team was getting embarrassed. But yeah, that was actually my favorite game, like you just mentioned. That Eagles Rams game, like I thought it was about to be BTA all Rams on the road against the
man.
Eagles, but really good game. It was a crazy second half, like you said. And the Eagles, they were down by 26-7, down by 19 points. So not only
Crazy.
was I surprised the Eagles came back and won this game, I'm also surprised that the Rams fumbled this game because they were in
Yeah,
control running the football with Kyron Williams. They were in control offensively, but then the Eagles started game momentum in the second half, overcoming that 19-point deficit. And the
yep.
big thing that everybody was looking for this Eagles team, even though they started off 2-0, was where was the passing attack with the offense? I know you touched up
Yep.
on it on your podcast too, because I've seen the clips. But yeah, they're back. I mean, I hate to say it as a Cowboys fan, they're back. Jalen Hurts looked good. AJ Brown was cutting up. Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert chipped in for some touchdowns too. But then the craziest moment of the game when the Rams were going down the field, looked like they're gonna have the game-winning drive, the game-winning field goal, only
Oh,
for bro,
oh. Yeah, man, that was crazy. That was insane.
only for Jordan Davis to block or take that all the way back to the house after the block kick and to
Insane.
walk it off of a touchdown, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, that was a wild, wild, wild way to end the game. And it's funny because when you like this is why I think it's so important to like obviously watch the games, of course. Because sometimes when you look at just the score, it tells a different story than what actually happened. Because it was tied 27-26. And then so I that last part again, I didn't watch the whole thing, but I seen the highlights and everything. So it was tied 27 or Eagles was up 1 point, 27-26, about to kick the game winning field goal for the Rams.
Yeah.
And then they take it back and now Eagles finish 33-26. So it's just crazy how it works when like literally last second. And the funny part is like he didn't even have to take it for 6. He could have literally just fell on the ball and like that was
Yeah.
game. But he said, "Hell no, I need to touchdown. I need a tutty." So that was cool though from the Eagles, man. They really rallied back together, and man, I was impressed. I was shocked that the Rams blew it like that. I was shocked.
Yeah, because the way they were coming looked like they were coming for vengeance of how that playoff game went I think the Rams actually, yeah, when you think about it, that was the toughest opponent that the Eagles played in the playoffs because most of the
Yeah.
games were blowout wins. But yeah, they played well, and I'm surprised the Rams didn't finish out this game or couldn't find a way to finish it out. They were close, but the block field goal. But yeah, even as a Cowboys fan, I gotta say that walk off was tough, bro. That walk off was tough. I'm
I
not even
feel
gonna
that.
lie.
So, all right, I'm gonna hit you with another game too. I don't want to take too long because I know we got more stuff to talk about. But another game, where I again felt that pain. I felt this exact same way that you feel about watching a division rival have such a
Oh,
great game. The
there you
Tampa Bay
go.
Buccaneers. I told you, Tom, I thought about you a lot this weekend. I was ready to make fun of you at one point with the Cowboys. I was like, no, I can't do that. I can't do that. I'm gonna see him Tuesday. I'm gonna see him Tuesday. So yeah, that was my game, bro. The division, I was just so sick about seeing my division rival end up winning, but I couldn't hate, man. I'm like, damn, the Buccaneers. I was like, another game-winning drive for Baker Mayfield. Like, damn, I can't even be mad. Like, this is crazy. But I was very impressed that they ended up winning the game because I thought it was over with. But next thing you know, I look at the game break that happened during the Falcons game. I'm checking scores, and I'm like, damn, Buccaneers won. So
Yeah.
crazy. I definitely get it. I definitely get it.
I was actually gonna say that was my favorite moment too from Baker Mayfield because low key, I think with these first 3 weeks having 3 game winning drives, bro, he low key might
Bro,
be in the early MVP conversation because that
he's
man
up there.
clutch.
He's up.
He definitely clutch. And also during that game too, something I like too is the fact that there was another block kick. Like there were so many block kicks around the league. I think there was like 5 of them on special
Hmm.
teams on Sunday. And then seeing the Jets return it back for a touchdown to possibly win the game. And then you seen Aaron Glenn dancing. I know
Man,
you might have seen the edit with the Earth,
I
Wind, and Fire with him
yeah, I
dancing.
seen it. Yep. I seen it. He was big stepping. He was big stepping on the sideline.
But yeah,
Yeah,
that guy, man, he is clutch. And he even did it without Mike Evans on the field for that final
man.
game winning drive because he got banged up.
So I actually recently just talked about this on my last episode. I was talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man. I've officially, and this is, PSA, public service announcement. Everybody know I'm a Falcons fan. But at this point, man, I've officially accepted that the Falcons probably not going to win this division, bro. Like I've accepted that it's probably going to be the Buccaneers that win this division based on week 3. I hope I'm wrong. I hope the Falcons prove me wrong, and I hope they tell me and really, really show me that they're not trash and they are still competitive in this division. But Baker Mayfield, these first 3 weeks, 3 wins, 3 game winning drives, no interceptions, multiple game winning touchdowns. He's just nothing other than elite. So I'm like, this is exactly what I was hoping the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did not turn into, especially after Tom Brady retired. I just was really hoping it was over with, but damn it, seemed like Baker Mayfield learned a hell of a lot of information from Tom Brady, and I'm not okay with that. But I've accepted it at this point. So this season, hey man, I ain't even about to be until the Falcons prove me wrong. I'm not about to be talking crazy about them winning the division. I think I can accept that. Yeah, Buccaneers probably got this division on lock.
And that's crazy, like you said, because when Tom Brady retired, it looked like they could go possibly back in a rebuild. But then here they are, get
Man,
through a Baker Mayfield, and he turns it up like how he was always supposed to look in the NFL. So that's
yeah.
crazy.
It's crazy. I'm happy for Baker though. Baker, I've always liked Baker Mayfield. Even in his Oklahoma days, I thought he was really good. And I'm glad he's having success and that the Browns didn't ruin his career because they almost did. The Browns was
Yeah,
close to ruining his career. And I think he was with Giants too at one point. Correct me if I'm wrong. It was somewhere else. Panthers. I'm
yeah,
sorry, not the
Panthers,
Giants.
yeah.
Yeah, Panthers almost ruined his career. So between the Browns and the Panthers, I'm glad that Baker Mayfield, does have a home, and I'm glad he's balling out the way he is. I hope he don't ball out like this against the Falcons, whenever we play them or stop us from getting to the playoffs. But hey, man, I can't hate on him for the way he's balling. This is elite.
Yeah, and that's crazy because both teams right about now would love if Baker was back with that franchise too.
Man, what? Browns would give up some stuff to have Baker Mayfield back on that roster.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. That's crazy how his career is playing out. But yeah, I'm definitely like what I'm seeing from him, and I think if he keeps it up, I mean, you're not gonna have a game-winning drive every week. Well, maybe he could, but If he could, that's insane. But he probably won't have it every week. But if he could keep playing at an elite level, keep winning, and being clutch, I think he would have to be in the early MVP conversations as the season goes on.
Definitely. Definitely. Those conversations for sure need to heat up. I'll say that early on for sure.
Yeah, I think so too. Um, we'll go ahead and move on to the next segment here. So we're gonna share our early NFL power rankings after the first 3 weeks of football. Manny, we'll share who we believe are the top 5 teams from 1 to 5 in the NFL right now. So, who's your early top 5 teams after week 3 of the NFL season?
Oh man, week 3 of the NFL season, the top 5 teams. Man, oh man, this is tough because I'm seeing a lot of good teams right now. I'm seeing a lot of good football. But I think coming off of based on what we've seen so far in the NFL and all that we've witnessed up until week 3, my power 5 teams, and number one, I gotta go. Look, man, number one team is definitely. It's only right if I give it to the Detroit Lions. Man, they've looked dominant on all ends of the ball. But here's where I struggle because I want to say Lions are number one team right now in the power rankings, but I gotta be fair and throw the Eagles into consideration for that number one spot because the Eagles they are 3-0. They haven't lost a single game. The Eagles have been balling, and they still on a kill mission, which is just beat you however they can. If they got to run the ball, they're going to beat you. If they got to throw the ball, they're going to beat you. The defense is still stood tall at certain times in the games. So I struggle with 1 and 2 for the Detroit Lions and the Philadelphia Eagles. So you can those are interchangeable. Whichever way is to anybody's liking of Lions, Eagles. Hey man, I struggle. But you know what I'm gonna do? And I just came to this. I just thought of this here. So not gonna put Lions at 1. So erase everything I said. Sorry. But I'm gonna go Eagles at number 1 because Eagles, they've been dominating. For those same reasons, yeah, you could argue the Lions are at number 1 because of how dominant they've been. But Eagles, coming off of a Super Bowl, a lot of teams get relaxed, and the Eagles have shown no signs of being laxed on either side of the ball. So I gotta go Eagles, give them that number 1 spot. It's only fair since they have come off the Super Bowl victory and still stepping strong into this NFL season. Then at number 2, I'm gonna go with the Detroit Lions there. Number 3, I'm going Buffalo Bills. Number 4, oh man, I think it's only right if I show love to the Chargers and what they've done. At number 5, this 5 slot is really interchangeable. You can go a couple different teams here. But for that 5 slot, man, as of right now, up until week 3, it kills me to say this. It really pains me to say this, but you got to go Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man. You got to go Tampa Bay Buccaneers because of what they've done so far. Elite play from the defense on their side of the ball, elite play from the offense led by Baker Mayfield. So my top 5 in the power rankings as of right now, the end of week 3 going into week 4, I'm going Philadelphia Eagles number 1, Detroit Lions number 2, Buffalo Bills number 3, I think I said Chargers number 4, and then Tampa
Yeah,
Bay Buccaneers number 5.
yeah. Manny, man, this is why we always collaborate because we think alike. I got the same 5 teams, not in that order, but I got
No
literally
way!
the same
That
five
is
teams.
crazy. That is
When
crazy.
you were saying that, I looked back, I was like, yeah, I got the same
Like, is he
five
reading my
teams.
list right now? Yeah, that is crazy.
Yeah, we agree. So yeah, I would have the same 5 teams on the list, so I just got to shuffle different.
Okay.
One, I got the Eagles, like, or you did have the Eagles number 1, so I got the Eagles 1. I gotta like their 3-0 start because they did play. They got some good quality wins on there. Cowboys, Chiefs on the
Yeah.
road, then defeated the Rams, overcoming a 19-point deficit. 2, I'm gonna go with the Bills. I think they're the best team in the AFC right now. 3-0 start. They defense kind of looked a little shaky Thursday night against the Miami Dolphins, but that's a divisional game, so I'll give them a pass. 3, I'm gonna go with the Chargers, like we just talked about, like the 3-0 start, three divisional victories against the Chiefs, the Raiders, the Broncos that kicked off the NFL season. So you look good in your own division.
Yep.
4, I'm gonna go with the Lions. I really was gonna flip 4 and 5, but last night the Lions blew me away. How spectacular they played on both ends of the ball,
Yeah.
especially in the trenches. So they look really impressive, minus that week 1 loss. And 5, I'll go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They could be higher, but they are 3-0. But I would like 3 straight wins, not to be 3 straight game-winning drives of Baker. I want to see you close it out
Valid.
quicker in ball games if necessary. But they played some really, pretty good teams and good defenses so far with the Texans, the Jets defense, and they played you guys week 1, the Falcons on the road in a tough divisional game as well. So Yeah, that'd be my top five right now. That's crazy. We got the same top
That
five right
is wild. That that is so crazy, actually, that this is the same top
now.
five. But I feel like as of right now, so like going into week 4 of the season, I feel like it is obvious that those are some of the most dominant teams right now. Like, and I thought about the Colts as well, because I mean, surprisingly, Daniel Jones has been on a tear so far too.
Oh
But
yeah.
like I just in terms of who's better in the quality of play that I've seen, I got to give it to the other teams that we mentioned, like the Chargers and the Lions and the Bills and Tampa Bay. Like I think those wins they've displayed better quality of football over the Colts, and also too, Colts still got a lot to prove. They played the Dolphins, smacked the Dolphins. Dolphins have already been. We know how the Dolphins are. They played the Titans, who are also rookie quarterback, not really super skilled on either side of the ball. The Broncos was probably the toughest win that they had. Whereas you look at the Chargers, they had divisional opponents, which is always tough games. The Buccaneers, they had to fight hard to close these games out. But you can make an argument for the Buccaneers being replaced by the Indiana Colts in that top 5 ranking spot. Lions blew you away offensively and defensively. Bills blowing you away offensively, of course. And then you look at the other two teams, Eagles up there, or the Eagles, yeah, the last team, the Eagles, you look at them and they just still rolling strong. So I feel like an argument could be made for the Colts, but maybe down the line with their schedule, if they continue to win and take care of business the way they've been doing, then we could throw them in there. But I just think the other teams have more quality wins and better play so far than what I've seen from the Colts.
Yeah, I agree with that too. Because the Colts, if I had two honorable mentions, it'd be them probably at seven, with a seven spot. I like what I see out of Daniel Jones though. Like I know we
Yes.
clowned him several times on this podcast, and I don't know what the heck has happened. Like Shane Steichen has fixed this man. Like I can't believe he is playing the way he is. Like that's a big
Yeah.
shocker. But like you said, wins count when you talk about who's the cream of the crop right now. They got one good quality win. Yeah, the Titans are a divisional opponent. Yeah. Oh yeah, they did play Titans. Yeah, the Titans are a divisional opponent who they
Yeah.
defeated last week, but they're not ready yet. They're 0-3. The Dolphins are 0-3 as well. So yeah, they're off to 3-0, but I like to see them keep it up when they play better competition. That Broncos win is good though. I will say that's a good
Yeah,
one.
that the Broncos is a good quality win right there. That's a good quality win. But I'm kind of looking at their schedule too for the Colts. And Colts, they don't have the toughest schedule in the world. They don't have the toughest schedule in the world. And I think they could probably be in playoff contention. I'm not gonna say they get to the playoffs and make something happen, but they could definitely be in playoff contention. I think this season, if they continue on and take care of business against the teams that don't really have much established for themselves already.
Yeah,
But just looking ahead, like this game against the Rams is going to be big. That to me, that one's going to be a must watch right there against the Rams, just because Rams, that offense, if you can beat the Rams at any time, I think that's a good quality win, just led by Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford. I think that's a good quality win.
yeah, yeah. They're honorable mention for me. And then if I had a sixth spot, because I've really been impressed with the Packers. I couldn't put them top five after that loss, but yeah,
Yeah.
they're a really good team. But
Yeah.
with the two quality ones, they got the Lions week one, the Commanders week two. They just ran to a really. I think the Browns aren't a good team, but I think they do have right now, from what I've seen, I think they got a top five defense, and
Yeah.
they
Oh my
ran
gosh.
into a tough mountain when they had to face off against Miles Garrett and the opposing defense last week. But yeah, if they picked up that win, I probably swap them with the Bucks if they won that
Mm.
game. But yeah, I'm really high on the Packers this year too.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I can wholeheartedly I can agree with that. If they had they won that last game, I think it would have been fair to throw them in the top 5 rankings. But even then, with the game being so reliant on the Packers defense, it was still like a very close game. It was a low scoring game. The
Yeah,
team that scored 13 points ended up winning. 13 points, that ain't even 2 touchdowns. So it's like like you said, Packers definitely can an argument can be made for the Packers having a top 5 defense for sure. And I think that is the case, especially with the addition of Micah Parsons, man, and just kind of
yeah,
giving up some just chump change in a way. I won't say chump change because there's some first rounders in there. So it might be a good trade, down the line. Never know. And kind of to even throw that in there, I think. Packers will be set down the line. And then the side note here, I don't think the trade will backfire for y'all. You being the Cowboys, I think it could be beneficial down the line, and it should be. All right, I haven't said this yet, but I'm gonna say it on here. I've been holding this take in actually for some time because I couldn't say it. Sorry, man. Look, I'm gonna get off track just a tiny bit. I couldn't say it because I was sick, so I didn't record that week when a lot of this stuff went down. But
Yeah,
with the trade of the Cowboys and Michael Parsons going over there to Green Bay, they sending over some first rounders. I really think it was a solid move. Obviously, the initial reaction from everybody is like, how can you let a player of this caliber walk? But ultimately, if the Cowboys did not let Micah Parsons go, they would find themselves in a similar situation as the Cincinnati Bengals, where you got 4 to 5 players out of a 40-man roster taking up a majority of the whole cap space. So that's to me why I'm like, you know what, I'm not really mad that the Cowboys didn't do it. Now, for me just wanting to clown the Cowboys, do I wish they would have used up all their cap space? Of course. But I think it was truthfully a smart move to go ahead and let him walk. That way you still have cap space to give to other people and bring in more talent, and you get some first rounders for it. So that's that spiel. But going back to the Green Bay Packers, adding Micah Parsons has made them definitely a top 5 defense.
yeah, and I agree with everything you just said because as a Cowboys fan, I was furious when I seen that trade across my thumb. But when you think about it, as sad it is to let him go. Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb alone cost over $300 million, let alone.
Man,
So, like you said, we would have been had 3 players having to pay so much money for, where in cap space can't afford a team around us. So it hurt. Hopefully, we cash in on these first round picks in the
yeah,
next 2 years, or we use it to get a defensive player because God knows we need one right now, a difference maker right now in our defense. But yeah,
yeah.
to your point, I was very upset about it. I still am upset about it. But at the same sense, future wise, it had to do what you had to do because I didn't ask Jerry to re-sign Dak for the money that he did, but it happened. And of course, you need to see Lamb. Maybe it could have been you give Mike a big bag and we let go of Dak somehow, some way. But at the end of the day, if we had all 3 of these guys, there's no building to the future. And even
Yeah.
with Micah Parsons on this defense right now, I'm not saying it would still be as bad as it is, but maybe realistically, like this defense still would be bad because there's a lot that needs to
There's a
be
lot of
fixed.
holes.
Yeah, the secondary is bad. Like Trayvon Diggs ain't that guy anymore with all the knee injuries. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of things to clean up. So maybe Micah Parsons would have made a difference somewhat. Definitely in big third down situations and a disruption as a pass rusher. But when you think about it, it might have been good best for us to get something because if you're not trading CeeDee Lamb or anybody, how you getting these first round picks, additional first round picks? We got 4 to look forward to for the next 2 years.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong, man. I again, I 1000% agree, and I think it's one of the moves where you hate to do it, but it was the right move. I think it was the right move.
Yeah, and it did help out the Packers, a team that's in win now mode. But again, that's still costly for anybody. I mean, you get a Cal
Yeah.
play like that, but first round picks are first round picks.
Well, at
But
least y'all ain't pull the Giants and give it to the same division.
oh, no, if I
I,
seen that, I would nah, bro.
that
That would
that
have
would
been
have
me.
been you would have been allowed to crash out for that. If y'all
That
would
would
have
have been
traded
it,
him to the
brother.
Eagles or something, then it would have like I would have been mad for y'all. Like, why would you do that? Like, why would you do that? A division rival, like that's and this is why I say again, Cowboys did it the right way. Y'all sent him out of the division, like you got rid of him. You got something good in return. A year. So like that's why I'm like, hey, y'all did it the right way. Like try and get him as far as way as you can, but hey, if he land in Green Bay, that's cool too, because you ain't got to see Green Bay every single year.
Yeah, because if it was the Eagles, bro, oh no. I definitely would. That would have been the end of my Cowboy days for sure. Definitely, I would have
Oh
definitely been
man.
done.
That division would have just been like, all right, this division is just insane. For everybody outside of the Eagles, this division is just not smart. Like if that would have happened.
And you would have had to play him twice a year, bro. I would have been sick. Ain't no
Yeah,
way.
that would have been crazy.
But yeah, we agree on that. But yeah, we'll see about that. I think I told you, I'm actually taking the trip. I leave tomorrow to Dallas, so I'm gonna see how the atmosphere is for that
Okay.
Sunday night game. So
Okay, yeah.
yeah, it's gonna be upsetting, but yeah,
Who y'all got? Who y'all? Oh, y'all got Green Bay, right?
yeah,
Ooh,
yeah, yeah, bro.
that's about to be crazy, boy.
Yeah, even though
That's
we're off topic, like yeah, for people that don't know, Manny texted me about the trade, and like literally, like I'm not even over exaggerating. Like the next day, I was planning to finalize the trip, and the trade literally made it even worse. But it was already about to be done because that's the game I wanted to catch this year, and everything happened. But yeah, it's gonna be a sight to see Sunday night.
yeah, that's gonna be fun. Is this first Cowboys game for you
Oh yeah, at the stadium. Yeah, I've been
at
to
the
a couple
stadium?
of Commanders games from
Okay,
my neck of the woods, but yeah, first
okay,
time out there
yeah, that's gonna be dope, man. I can't wait to hear it. And you said you leave when?
tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Okay, I was gonna invite you on the pod Thursday. That's what that's why. But I look, I know we all off topic, but we'll talk about it more later.
Yeah. Um. So we're gonna move on to the final segment here. A thing that happened in the NFC East. I wish Rob was here for this, but news broke in the NFC East today that the New York Giants are naming Jackson Dart their new starting quarterback. Manny, what's your thoughts on Jackson Dart being the starter and Russell Wilson now heading to the bench?
Man, I love it. I love this, bro. Like, why wait 7 games into the season to decide, oh, let's give our young guy a shot? No, clearly, the person you picked from the jump is not getting the job done. 3 interceptions. The man been sacked 7 times so far this season. And when I look at the win and loss column, all I see is L, L, L. Just lose, loss after loss. So I'm like, it's time to switch it up. Some of these games were definitely winnable, and the offense had no reason to look this bad. In a lot of these games, we're seeing Russell Wilson at this point. Hate to say it, man. Hey, loved Russell Wilson in Seattle, but Russ look washed. Russ look washed, man. It's time to maybe even think about hanging that jersey up, putting it in the closet, putting it on the wall. Whatever you do, just take it off your back and hang it up somewhere because it's looking like it's over for Russell Wilson. And I'm glad that the Giants also recognize the same thing and they're giving the young guy a shot. Why not? He can't do worse than what you already had as a starter. So you might as well go ahead, build him up, give him some in-game reps during the season, and if he plays well, then cool. And personally, I'm gonna leave you with this. I think that rookie quarterbacks truly do have an advantage in the NFL. And the reason I say that rookie quarterbacks have an advantage, despite how good they may actually be or where their peak is in terms of skill set, they have an advantage because there's not much film on what they do. There's not much analysis on what makes them comfortable, what makes them uncomfortable, what tendencies do they have when they're rolling right. Can they throw rolling right? Can they throw rolling left? It's a lot of different things that goes into scouting a quarterback in the NFL that defenses just don't have against rookie quarterbacks. And when you look at the examples, it seems like this has been the trend over the last 3 to 4 years. CJ Stroud, incredible rookie season. Hey, ain't been able to get back to his sense. Jaden Daniels, incredible rookie season. Obviously, he's dealing with some health issues right now with his knee and all of that. Just hopefully he can continue to get back. And then when I think about just other players that's been out there starting in the rookie season or getting their rookie debut, they've been pretty decent for the most part. So I truly do believe that rookie quarterbacks have a slight advantage. Not that they're going to take you to the Super Bowl or anything like that, but there is just a slight advantage when you start them. So I'm not mad at the Giants doing this.
Yeah, I 100% agree because it, like you said, it can't get any worse than what you've seen. But for their sake, I think the Giants made this move after the first 3 weeks and not waited, like you said, 7, 8 weeks down the road because there's players, not players, but there's one particular spot up for grabs that could be on the hot seat. And that's Brian Dable. I think this move was made
Yep.
to save his job in New York because it hasn't looked pretty other than his first year with the Giants when he won a playoff game. But other than the first two, or other than week 2 for Russell Wilson against the Dallas Cowboys, that trash secondary. Other than that, he's been horrible 2 out of 3 games in the NFL season thus far. I mean, 3 passing touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and like you said, all you see is losses in the win-loss column, 0-3. So there's nothing that you can do. And I feel like that costly interception that he had against the Dallas Cowboys in overtime,
Man,
just lofting the ball up to Donovan Wilson, and then playing horrible on Sunday night, not even getting your number one wide receiver and Malik Neighbors involved in the passing game at
at
all.
all. At
Hardly any
all.
targets. I think he finished with 2 catches for 13 yards. That's unacceptable. Um, the fourth quarter on fourth and goal, there was nobody in the back of the end zone where he threw the ball. It's just like his body language, he's defeated out there. And that's not what the Giants need. He was
at
getting
all.
booed out of MetLife Stadium. This is the team. This is what the team needs. If they want to get a spark in the right direction, why not go with the guy that you got late in the first round, Jackson Dart? I mean, he showed at Ole Miss. He's got an arm. He's got his legs. He could be a good dual threat quarterback. But I think him and Cam Scatterboo in the backfield, their rookie
Yep.
running back, I think that's gonna give them a spark that they need. But I will say one thing though, Manny. Even though it's a necessary change, I hope the Giants are prepared to what happens because, like you said, their rookies have an advantage. There's no film on them, so you don't know how to really game plan for them because it's different from college and NFL. So it takes time to really see how to stop these rookies. But I will say, be careful what the Giants wish for because you do have the toughest schedule in the league. If
Facts.
Russell
Facts.
Wilson wasn't going to win you games, and you can't get mad if Jackson Dart don't show you any type of flashes or development early on, because other
This is
than
true.
this, this is all you got. This is really all you got because if you go back to Russell Wilson, that's gonna hurt his. That's definitely gonna hurt his mentality. That's gonna hurt him as a player. If you go to Jameis Winston, that even shows concern too, because at this point we're just playing musical chairs. Who's gonna be the starter? So
Yep.
now you just gonna have to ride it out, however this production looks from here on out. And
This
this
is
is rookie
facts.
season, but they got the hardest schedule. So be careful what you wish for. If this is what
This
you
is
want,
facts.
go do it. But
You know, I think I 1000% agree, and Giants fans definitely have to take that into consideration because, I mean, you don't know what the production might be from a rookie. Like, but I
yeah,
think there's that understanding at least of okay, at least we're developing this guy. Like, yeah, he
that's
might
true.
not be out here winning us games, but at least he's getting used to some reps. He's getting to the game speed. Like, he's getting adjusted to all of these sort of things. So, ultimately, as long as if he's playing bad, if he's playing just as good as Russell Wilson, it's still a win because at least you ain't putting a guy who's supposed to be good and supposed to know how to get things done out there, but not performing to a level of expectation out there. In Russell Wilson, you're putting a rookie out there who clearly doesn't have much experience in the league. So I feel like whatever he does out there, it is like you got to accept it. You can't really be mad, but I mean, yeah, with this schedule that the Giants have, I'll be shocked. If anything, it'll boost the morale the more you do win. But I mean, once you start scrambling, you go to Jameis Winston. If you do go to Jameis Winston, at this point, it just shows you just fighting for survival. You just trying not to lose your job. You doing any and everything you can. But again, I'd rather the Giants show some sort of urgency of like, let's do any and everything we can than stay complacent and not bench Russell Wilson until week 7. Then it's like, bro, the season is over. Like, we won one
Yeah.
game. Like, the season is over, bro. So I'm glad they made this move, and it just shows that there is still some hope, and they're focused on trying to do whatever they can to actually win some games.
Yeah, and that's what's important at the end of the day. I mean, I did like Brian Dable to start, but now it's just like I think he's just an average guy in New York. So I think he knows his time is ticking,
Oh,
and he's probably
definitely.
gonna get fired by the end. I don't see them bringing him back by the end of the year if this continues.
Nah, I
So they'll
think it's
probably
over
get
with.
somebody for Jackson Dart. But yeah, at this point, the fans need something to look forward to. Like just bring them on. But
Yeah.
that's
And
oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, last thing too is like you draft these guys for a reason. So far, everybody they've drafted the last couple of years, I mean, they hit it on the money, man. Neighbors, you
Yeah,
like the trade, like the roster isn't terrible. Like the Giants don't have an awful roster. They just need a quarterback to get the ball to the skill guys, but they just need the right schemes and stuff too. So I don't think the roster is bad. And like that's the thing that kills me is like because you can be good. There's a lot of potential there for the Giants. There's some potential to win some of these tough matchups that you have coming into this season and split some of these games in the division, honestly. But it's just like you just need the quarterback to get there. So I'm like, so far, you got to just trust that draft process. It hasn't failed you yet. You've got a lot of great guys on that team that you've got from the draft and certain trades. The front office has been doing their job. I will say that so far with getting offensive skill guys for that part. But you just got to trust the rookie guy. And at this point, if it ain't no upside, why not just lean all the way into your rookies and try and just have them carry you to whatever they can?
Yeah, and I agree with that too because I look at that roster like they're there, but it's just the quarterback. Like they got one of the best
Hmm.
defensive lines in football right now. The
Yeah.
defense, I mean, it could get a little better, but it's off to a good start with one of the best defensive lines. Their rotation that they got of players. Yeah, it all starts with the quarterback because they really haven't had a real quarterback since Eli has retired. So it's a long time coming. But if Jackson Dart is this guy that they think he is, which I've always said he's got potential, even though I'm gonna regret playing him twice a year now. But I think he's got the potential to take them not to a Super Bowl, but get them back in the right direction of winning games and things like that. So it could play off, but I hope they are prepared to just ride it out with him because you can't blame anybody else. That's what you got at this point. It's the
Yeah.
production you're gonna get.
This is so true. This is so true. And I think too, the defense would probably, yeah, obviously they're not, the best defense in the NFL right now, but I think they could perform a lot better if there was some offensive production and the defense could get some damn rest off the field too.
Yeah,
And also they didn't have to, if they didn't have to be on the field the whole damn game, then probably they would perform a little bit better. But it would also help change the course of the game if the offense is continuously putting pressure on the other team. But when that's not an aspect of the game, it's kind of hard for the defense to be the ones to keep you in the game all the time, and all the pressure is always on the defense to win the game or keep you in the game.
yeah, I 100% agree with that. So we'll see how they play this. Who do they play this weekend? The Giants. I know they play the Saints, and I think the following week.
Yeah, they got the Chargers.
Oh, oh, you're really gonna learn a lot about Jackson Dart because you're gonna have to bite down, buckle down against that tough defense.
Yeah, that's about to be a tough. That's gonna be a tough matchup, man. That's gonna be a tough matchup right there. Chargers, Chargers ain't been playing no games, and like we was talking about earlier, they done beat their division opponents already and some good quality wins. So,
Yeah.
they gonna be in for a treat.
We'll see how Jackson Dart and the New York Giants play from this moment forward. But we'll go ahead and wrap up this week's episode. That's all the time we have for you guys today. This is your host, Thomas Tyree, signing off. And thank you, Manny, the guest that we had today from the Run Podcast. Manny, before we sign off, where can we follow you on your social media platforms?
Yes, sir, man. Well, first time, man, I appreciate you for having me on, bro. It's always a pleasure coming on the pod and chopping it up with you. But everybody can find me on Instagram at the Run Podcast, TikTok at the Run Podcast, YouTube as well, the Run with Manny Wilson. Check out all the content there. The episodes is published on YouTube as well. And listen to the pod wherever you listen to your podcast, Spotify, iPodcast, or Apple Podcasts as they call it now, and iHeartRadio, wherever you listen. So check it out, man. The Run with Manny Wilson. And man, again, Tom, I appreciate you for having me on, man. And we'll figure out a way to get you on the pod. I know you're going to see the Cowboys this weekend, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah, appreciate you, Manny, always coming on. I can't wait to come back on your podcast. But your host, Thomas Tyree, and the host of the Run Podcast, Manny Wilson, signing off. I'll see you guys on next week's episode.